Good morning, British literature students, and welcome to the spring 2015 edition of British Literature. I am Mr. Smith. I am going to be your teacher for the next 17 weeks, and I am going to take you on a journey throughout the course of this semester that starts about in the year 1800 with the Romantic movement, give or take a couple of years, and we are going to move all the way into the 20th century. Throughout this semester, we are going to be reading the great authors, starting with the Romantic poets of William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and working our way up to Salman Rushdie of the 20th century, who is a man who is still alive and, oh, by the way, teaches at Emory University right here in the state of Georgia. So, throughout the course of this semester, we will be reading poetry, we will be reading prose, and we will be reading drama. And we will be looking at not only some of the great fictional stories and poems, we will also be looking at some of the great social issues that affected England and, to be honest, the entire world over the last 200 years plus. So, this is exciting. I hope you're as excited about this as I am. I've always said this, and I will say it again. If I could only teach one class, I would want it to be British literature. And here we are. We're actually taking it. I will be making these videos every single week. So as you go through the schedule, you'll see that every week it says watch this week's video. These videos will always have information that's important to learning what you need to look for in your readings. Because we're going to talk a little bit here about what's in the syllabus and what's on the actual site. Now what I'm going to want you to do is I'm going to want you this week to take a few moments to look through the syllabus, and it is actually located in the syllabus module, which is on the left hand side of the home page. And I'm going to want you to look at all of the modules. I want you to look at the MLA one, I want you to look at the PowerPoint slideshows one, because that one's very important. And I'm going to want you to take a few minutes to acquaint yourself with the site and what features we're going to have this semester. I also want you to read this syllabus closely. I'm going to take a look at a couple of things in here that are important, but really it would help you to actually go through the syllabus and take a look at yourself. So we'll start at the top of the syllabus. There's the contact information, my name, my office room number if you happen to be in Albany and can get by there. It's an asynchronous online, which means you can pretty much sign on whenever you need to. And my office hours. So if you want to call me and talk to me on the telephone, call me during these office hours, and I will always answer the phone. And unless I'm like so busy with a student that I can't, but I'll usually answer the phone and get back to you in a very timely manner. The course description, of course, is that these students are introduced to British literature starting from the Romantic era, like I said, right around the turn of the 19th century and into modern day. Okay. Specific course policies and course data you can look at. Let's take a look at the textbooks. It's a 3-textbook set. It is the Norton Anthology of English Literature. So it starts with the Romantic period, then it goes through the next volume, which is the Victorian period, and then the final volume, of course, is the 20th century and after, but we're not really going to read anything from the 21st century. We're going to get about as far as 1995 or something like that. It's also helpful to have a good college level dictionary, and it's also helpful to, if you still have your My Blank English book from your English 1102 class, because this book can help you, especially when we get to writing the research paper. So definitely keep this book. This book can be useful in all classes, not just English classes, especially if you're having to cite things in MLA or APA format. So I hope you'll find this book to have been worth the investment. And if you still have it, bravo, great job. So those are the books. Policies, attendance. If you want to do well in my class, you should expect to sign in at least twice a week, minimum, because you will want to get the reading assignments, you'll want to answer the discussion questions that are on there. Your discussion questions are worth, I think it's 10% of the grade. And so in order to do well, just like if you were on campus and you would have to actually go to class to do well, same thing with signing into this class. You have to actually sign into this class in order to do well. So I would expect to spend at least twice a week. That's in addition to the readings. Withdrawals, you can read through. No show. Basically, I think January the 20th is the deadline on that. If you're watching this video now, then you won't be reported as a no-show because I will have a record that you signed in. Makeup work, I will determine on a case-by-case basis. Basically, I try to be understanding because life happens. But if you can't give me a good reason why your work is late, it will be penalized. And if it's more than 3 weeks late, then it'll get an automatic F. And then there's some documentation. So let's say you get called to jury duty and you can't sign in for a week. Just scan the jury summons in there, and I'll see that and say, oh, well, obviously this person can't not go to jury duty because, there's jail involved and stuff like that. So remember that. Grades should be self-explanatory. Errors should be self-explanatory. There is a breakdown on the 3rd page of the syllabus, number 6, of the weight that every assignment carries. So you can see that the quizzes, actually you don't have reading quizzes. Your weekly postings will be 15%. And then of course each exam, and then the research paper. There is an MLA and research quiz we'll talk about later this semester, and then the final exam. Disruptive students, that doesn't apply to this class really, but look at it anyway because I expect to be treated with respect. I'm going to treat you with respect. So if you send me an email that's full of venom and hatred, you're not going to get much respect from me. But if you have a disagreement with me and you actually say so in a respectful manner, I will respond in a respectful manner. So that also goes to the academic respect. And plagiarism. Let me take a moment to warn you. I have 0 tolerance for plagiarism. If you plagiarize the first time, you get a 0 on that assignment with no chance at a remake. And if you plagiarize twice this semester, you will fail the class and you will be told not to ever take my class again. So don't cheat in this class. Make sure that every bit of work you turn in is your own. And then we've got the semester schedule on a week-by-week basis. So that's about it. I want you to take a look at that. There are discussion postings every week, which there's not one this week. But what I would like for you to do is take a look at that pre-1800 English history slideshow, because that will set the stage. Because what happens in 1800 is we're going to get to Romantic period. Now, if you've taken Matt Brown's class for British Literature 1, which is the 2121 class, then you probably started with Beowulf and worked your way up into what is known as the Age of Enlightenment. The Romantic period is a reaction, a very violent reaction against the Age of Enlightenment, where the Age of Enlightenment was also known as the Age of Reason because everybody said, hey, we can think our way through any problem. The Romantics said, hey, there's just as much in the heart as what there is in the head. Of course, this is also about the time of the French Revolution, and that is something we're going to talk about, I think, in the 2nd week of this class. It could be 3rd week. I'll have to look at the schedule. But we're going to talk very much about the French Revolution because even though it happened in France, it had a huge impact on the writings that went on in England at the time. And we'll talk more about that then. So again, for week 1, basically watch the welcome video and then take a look at the pre-1800 British Literature PowerPoint slideshow to kind of get a feel for where England was at the time. So basically that's all I have. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to welcome you to the class. Most of these videos, like I said, will usually last somewhere between 5 or 10 minutes. There may be some weeks where I have a little bit more to say than that, particularly when I start discussing the research paper. But I feel like these videos are a good way for you to get face-to-face with me, even though you can't really respond to what I'm saying on the video, but you can respond by email. You can always communicate with me by email, either at enoch.smith@darton.edu from, say, like your Yahoo account or your Gmail account or something like that. Or you can go into D2L and use the email feature there. And I will always try to respond in a very timely manner, usually in less than 24 hours. And in many cases, like almost immediately. So that's an option that's open for you as well. So again, welcome to the class. And I think this is going to be a very enjoyable class. I love British literature. I love the Romantics. I love the Victorians. And I really like the 20th century as well. And I like looking at how history influences the writings. And we're going to do that as well in this class. So I hope you have as much fun as I will. And I think that this is going to, be great. So take a look through the website, take a look through the schedule, and take a look through the syllabus. And I will post another video Monday morning. Thank you.